All right, I am here with my man, Burton Alicando. Burton, what is going on, brother? How are you?
Matt, I'm doing well, man. Thank you so much for having me. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, brother. Doing great. For everybody watching, listening, whatever you're doing here, Burton is the Propstream guy. He's a Propstream expert. So I thought it would be fun today to dig into Propstream, which is an amazing tool that I am using basically every single day to dig in, find out information about properties that I want to buy, checking tax records, pulling lists, skip tracing properties, doing my due diligence on properties, finding new properties, using it for a ton of different things. And I thought it would be great to get this out to my listeners and bring in some best practices from an expert that we could use so other people can start using this tool as well. So, Burton, I know we are going to dig in a little bit today on Propstream, man. If you, what do you think about Propstream, Burton? How do you like it?
I love it. Obviously, a little bias here. I work for Propstream. They've personally have changed my life. When I first joined Propstream 10 years ago, I didn't think I'd be where I'm at today, talking to, you, Matt, amazing people like you and investors alike across the nation. But more importantly, teaching investors like you guys how to find the best deals or how to utilize data to your advantage, especially because we live in a tech world now. But again, a little bit biased. I think Propstream should be on everybody's dashboard if they're a real estate professional. We have so much data, it can help you determine whether you have a deal in front of you or you need to walk away from it. And that's just my honest opinion on that.
Yeah, I have the same exact opinion, same exact thing, man. And I've been telling people to get on the Propstream for the longest time, ever since I even started with my first small properties, one 4-unit. And then I was like, I need to find more of these. I need to figure out how to find more. I want to connect with more sellers or more owners of real estate. So I've used Propstream just to find out who in my area is owning a ton of real estate so I could connect with these guys and build relationships with the people who have properties, man. So enough of this back and forth between you and I, man. You said data is so important in building real estate today. So let's talk about some of the data that Propstream can bring and maybe open up the platform and see see what type of data we can all look into and how we can look into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. And so for those that are not familiar with Propstream, or even if you're familiar with Propstream, this might look similar, something familiar to you. But for those that aren't familiar with Propstream, this is our main search page. So when you first log in, we're going to send you to the search page on our toolbar. And with Propstream, you have nationwide access. And what that means is that unlike some softwares out there, we don't region lock you. So you can, first off, pay $97 a month if you click on Matt's link, because Matt's going to give you a discount and a 7-day trial. So make sure you click on the link in the description. But what that will give you access to is nationwide data. And you're going to be able to do two things with that nationwide data. Either A, analyze a property because you have a homeowner on the phone. You need everything. You need to know everything about that property and perhaps that homeowner. So with our nationwide data, you're going to be able to zoom in on an area and click on a parcel. In a matter of a few moments after you click on that parcel, you're going to be able to go into the details of that parcel and know everything. Oh, hey, look, what a coincidence. It's Matthew that owns this property, right? A different Matthew. But you'll know everything about Matthew and his taxes and his mortgages and so forth, right? So,
right.
For those that you've,
I just want to jump in on that. One important thing with that, guys, is like we can open it. If you just open up the details again and show the mortgage transaction history, you can actually see with pretty solid accuracy when the last loan on this property was taken out. So you'll know exactly, almost give or take, about to a T, what the property owner owes on the property. So if somebody owes $200,000, but the property is worth $500,000, and you're talking with this owner, you might have a little bit of leeway there, right? Because they only owe $200,000. If it's worth $500,000, they might be willing to take $400,000 for a quick deal. You walk into $100,000 of equity, and then you have options of what you want to do with that. You want to sell that property, you want to keep it. But sorry to interrupt you. I love that feature.
No, you're the expert, and I love that. See, and that right there, prime example for those that are listening or watching, is how data today can help you. See, what Matt just did is equivalent to a tour guide, but in ancient Egypt, right? Like if you go to Egypt right now, if anybody were to go to Egypt without a tour guide, we're going to be clueless. We're going to be looking at all these hieroglyphics and not know the story. But see, Matt's been around our system and data that he's able to look at this portion of the screen, just this one portion, and dictate what that exit strategy is going to look like, right? Based on the amount of equity the homeowner has, or the balance that's on these mortgages, or if they do have, maybe in this case, a mortgage that he might be able to do something creative with, right? Like a sub to perhaps. So I love that. No, I love that you intervene, because that's exactly the point. The point is, back in the day, you go back 17 years ago when Propstream wasn't around, you didn't have this information. You had to ask the homeowner about their property details. You had to ask the homeowner about their mortgages and their balances. And you had to ask the homeowner about anything else that might be going on with that property. Today, whether it's this house right here, or maybe it's this house with an RV parked in the middle of it, or a vacant land, perhaps, I can get information on it. Okay. So the first thing you're going to be able to have access for that $97 is that you'll be able to search any property nationwide in an instant, get property information, financial information, and the local sales. The second thing you can do with our data is you can pull up any market to build a list. So you can search by a county, a city. But what I'm able to do is, for example, go to Cincinnati, because that's on my screen right now that I'm staring at, Ohio. And once I'm in that area, Propstream is going to give you all the addresses here on the right side that are on a list that we've collected for you, right? So you can either search an address in Cincinnati and pull up the details, or if you search Cincinnati, the city itself, we're going to give you addresses that are on some sort of list. And here's just a few to kind of let you know what's going on, right? So 1,800 of these 300,000 properties are on the MLS, 414 of them are in a pre-foreclosure, so forth and so forth. And just to make it even more fun for you, we do have a search filter just to the right of our search bar, which gives you actually 19 options to choose from, right? So imagine going to the county clerk's office, and instead of just getting a pre-foreclosure list, which we have, you have a bunch of other options. You have tired landlords, you have deceased owners or pre-probate lists, you have senior owners, you have failed listings that come from the MLS. So you can pull the market and then go after one of these 19 categories, or we have over 150 plus filters. So you can create your own list if you'd like, or even do a combination of the two. Like, I want a lien that's non-owner occupied and completely vacant, not answering their mail. And there's that one property in that market. So you could stack records if you like. But these are the two core things that Propstream is known for. We're known for giving you property information, so that way you can analyze that property and determine if it's a good deal or not. And then the second thing is you can pull up a market, manipulate our data to find the properties that you're going to be going after. And that's a little bit about Propstream there, Matt.
Right. Yeah, I love that. And if you could just zoom in on a market, I want to describe and show a little bit in detail some of the lists that I have pulled and explain why I'm pulling them the way that I am. So any market, Oklahoma City, perfect. So a list. Oh, sorry. There we go. We'll throw.
I think I'm spelling it wrong.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Okay. Oh, yeah. There's no. There we go. Perfect.
Is that pulled up?
Yeah. Let me know if you see it on my screen.
Yep. All right. So that is pulled up. So some of the lists that I am pulling today, main things I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about one that is a relation. Actually, both of these types of people you want to build relationships with. So if we go to the filter tab to pull a list, and you pull the list, quick list choices, and you go to failed listings, right? Failed listings. You pull this up. So failed listings, these are people who listed their property on the MLS, but that property did not sell. And then if we go down into I believe it's in the ownership info, where they own 100, it's free and clear. They own this property free and clear. Where do we
free and
click?
clear would be in the mortgage section.
Mortgage.
Free
and
and
it's
clear
right at the bottom. So just with that powerful listing right there, and you can see like up in the top right, it says quick list choices, failed listings, and free and clear include. So all of these people are people that have tried to list their properties, but they didn't get it sold, most likely because their price point was not where it should have been. But they also own this free and clear, meaning they have no debt on this property, guys. So you could go in, you could take this free and clear property that has failed listing, call them, skip, and one other great thing that Propstream can do, you can skip trace, which means you can get the actual info. And Burton and I will do a video on how to skip trace this. Our next video will be on skip tracing and how to do that. But our system here, so we can see these properties, we could call up these owners and say, hey, I can pay the purchase price that you have. If the deal makes sense, you have to do your analysis, but I could pay the purchase price that you wanted, maybe even a little bit more. But what I do need is terms on this deal. I'm going to have to pay this deal over time. And that's how we can get into some great seller financed opportunities. So that's a great list you can pull. One other feature that I do want to talk about, and you can actually leave it on this, Burton. This is like, you could leave these quick list choices. And just for everyone to know, you don't have to have these quick list choices in, but just for ease of sake, we can do this. So if we go to ownership info on the left-hand side here, and we put in number of properties owned, and we go to minimum on the left, you could put in whatever you think is almost worth your time. But my idea is I want to talk to someone with a portfolio, because if I could buy one property from someone with a portfolio, most likely in the future they'll want to sell more. So that means that we could get more of these properties. So if we put in, let's just see if 10 comes up. If we put in a minimum of 10 properties, how many, and that might be a very small list. But now, guys, so if we click one of these properties, let's click that top one, 9613 Village Drive. Now you can see that owner right there. Owner one name is CMVP. You can see, literally, you see linked properties is what Burton just clicked on. We see all the properties that they own. They own a bunch of these free and clear. We can skip trace, find these people's information. If you can get them on a phone and build a relationship with them, wow, how powerful is that list? Now, if you get one seller finance deal from these guys, and you could probably get more in the future, you're set up with a pretty good pipeline to make stuff happen here. So Burton, thanks for taking us through that, man. Anything to add before we sign off on this video here?
Yeah, no, I love the suggestions. Those are hot. So if you guys did not write down any of those notes, you might want to rewind this video just slightly, get your notebook out, get your pen out, and write down those gems that Matt just gave you. Really strong list, failed listings. I love those. Again, those are just telling you I want to sell. I just couldn't do it, right? So you're going to be there to save them. One thing to also highlight when it comes to building a list in Propstream is that you don't always have to choose a list. This is the last thing I want to kind of leave off with lead generation in Propstream, is that although we have 19 categories that you can choose from, at the end of the day, you're not necessarily forced to choose any lists. And the key component to that is that it gives you the ability to craft your own situation. Like, one of the hottest things right now that's happening, one of the unfortunate things that are happening right now to home ownership, is that interest rates are climbing. Now, that's not going to affect every homeowner, but there are some homeowners out there that are biting their nails right now because of those interest rates climbing. And the reason they're biting their nails is because they have a certain mortgage that's impacted by that. And that mortgage is an adjustable rate mortgage. So instead of going like Oklahoma City and finding someone that, is on a list that most other investors are also going after, I can get a little clever with Propstream and say, you know what, while everybody's going after a list, I just want to look for those individual owners that might have, 10 years of ownership on their property. But because the interest rates are climbing, that's the motivation that I want. I want a homeowner who has a single mortgage, and that mortgage interest rate type is an adjustable rate. So this is who I want to speak to. So while the competition's going after the list, which in my personal opinion is already too late, because those are people that have missed the 6 months of payments, have filed for bankruptcy, filed for divorce because they got in an argument, right? Things have happened already, and then they're on a list. These 715 may not be there yet. And this is a perfect opportunity for you to plant your seed today, build that relationship, build that rapport. Hopefully they solve their problem over time and you never hear from them again. But reality is that they may not solve their problem. And 6 months from the first day you call them, that pre-foreclosure happens. And then when everyone starts calling them because they're going after pre-foreclosure, that homeowner already knows you for 6 months. And this is where you can get ahead of your competition. So that's the one thing I want to leave everybody off with is you do have the ability to just go in there and click this and that and create your own situation, which could yield a little extra along the way, or essentially beat out your competition. But yeah, those are, your filters are hot, man. I can't emphasize those things are big right now. So please take full advantage of that.
Right. And what's hot is a little bit more competitive, a lot more competitive. So if you can take your technique here and niche down a little bit and build out your own filters, you'll know the exact scenario that each of these sellers is in, and you can cater your message to each of these people and just go in having a conversation and making stuff happen. But Burton, man, I love what we have dug into today. For everyone listening, if you're not on Propstream, you need to be on Stream. I've got a link in the description if you want to jump on there, get your free trial, try this thing out, and get the system rolling. I promise once you start, you will not want to stop with Propstream because it is rocking and rolling. But Burton, man, really appreciate you coming on today, and we'll have some more videos coming in the future for everybody listening and watching.
Thanks for having me, brother. Have a great one, everybody.
All right. Peace.